Welcome and good morning. Welcome to the first annual Northeast Indiana Manufacturers Award Breakfast, a salute to industry, presented by KPC Media. My name is Lou Phelps, and I have the honor of serving as CEO of the company, and I'll be your host this morning. I'd like to welcome our live audience this morning who cannot be with us because of COVID-19 restrictions. We apologize that we had to limit the size of this audience to our award winners and sponsors, and look forward to joining us live next October. But we know you'll enjoy this live event and the video that will be posted. A little about KPC. We are the owner and publisher of the Greater Fort Wayne Business Weekly, one of only 2 business journals in Indiana, and 12 other daily and weekly newspapers, locally owned and operated, with 5 offices to serve readers and advertisers. In total, we have the largest reach of any media company, print or electronic, in this region. Rather than one newspaper or one TV station, our approach to local news is by neighborhood, by town, by county, while at the same time covering the entire region. We are excited to be able to present this recognition breakfast, made possible in part by our co-sponsor, the Regional Chamber of Northeast Indiana, who has been a great partner, as well as a long list of sponsors and advertisers who shared in our vision. The vision was that it was important to get manufacturers together, to get to know each other, to talk about common problems, to learn about resources to help us build our companies, and for us to be able to recognize those companies that are making a difference in the manufacturing sector in our area. At the end of this morning's breakfast, each of you will receive a magazine put together by the KPC team to inform you and to celebrate your accomplishments and to recognize our award winners. These will be given to all of our area chambers so that they can promote manufacturers who come to visit. A few facts about why we're here today. In just the 12 counties of Northeast Indiana, we have almost a $9 billion payroll in manufacturing. And that's based on 2018 numbers, the latest we can get. And that represents 176,000 people who work in manufacturing, including our team of over 100 employees at KPC Media, because newspapers are considered a manufacturer by the federal government. And our 12 counties represent the 4th to 5th largest manufacturing area in the entire United States. It is made in America, made in our slice of America here in Northeast Indiana. So thanks to all of you for being here today. As I said, we made the decision to limit the audience due to COVID. We appreciate everyone's cooperation with our safety precautions. We also want to thank the very professional team here at the Ramada Plaza, as well as our own team who have followed all of our state's recommended COVID guidelines and protocols. Look for a larger event next October. We're confident, probably an Expo 2, an event that we believe that this will continue to grow in prestige and importance annually. We have outstanding speakers for you this morning, and then we'll move on to the awards presentation. At this time, I have the honor of introducing Representative Jim Baines, who signed on early to support this event, for which we are very grateful. Representative Baines is a delegate from the Indiana 3rd Congressional District. He's a native Hoosier, born and raised in Columbia City, and he earned his undergraduate degree from Indiana University and a master's of business administration from Grace College. While serving in the Indiana State Senate from 2010 to 2016, he chaired the Senate Veterans Affairs and Military Committee, where he led the charge on many significant pro-growth, pro-family, and pro-veteran reforms. In addition to his service in the Senate, Congressman Baines served on the Whitley County Council and the Northeast Indiana Workforce Development Board before being elected to Congress in 2016, re-elected in 2018. But I want to point out one other thing. In 2014 and 2015, he took a leave of absence from the Indiana State Senate to deploy to Afghanistan during Operations Enduring Freedom and Freedom Sentinel. Due to a unique state law we have here in Indiana regarding leaves of absences, his wife, Amanda, was elected to serve in his place during the deployment. Representative Baines has often told people that she made a better state senator than he did. Currently in the House, in the United States Congress, he serves on the House Armed Services Committee, as well as the House Committees on Education and Labor and Veterans Affairs, and he chairs the Republican Study Committee on Budget and Spending Task Force, co-chairs the House Armed Services Committee's Future of Defense Task Force, and sits on the Naval Academy's Board of Visitors. He and his wife, Amanda, have 3 daughters. And with that, please welcome Congressman Jim Baines.
Well, good morning, and thank you very much. Thank you for that great introduction, Lou. It's so good to be with all of you today. Some of you might have seen my tennis shoes. And some of these days, my job's a tough job, right? Some of you look at me and think, I'm jealous that he's wearing tennis shoes with a suit. And some of you look at me scornfully and say, how dare the congressman wear tennis shoes? I had surgery about 10 weeks ago, and I'm very proud to be able to walk up those stairs after not being able to walk for about 10 weeks. So first of all, I want to thank KPC and everyone involved in putting this event together this morning. This is so important to our region. A lot of you were involved in making it happen. So I'm very proud to be a part of it. Thank you for all that you've done, Lou and Terry, everyone else at KPC Media Group, and publishers of the Greater Fort Wayne Business Weekly, a journal that I truly do read every single week, page to page. I want to also thank Bill Konyha and the Regional Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring this event, this very important event that highlights what is so important about our region. Bill Conde, over the last 3 years, has worked hard to contribute to the success of this region. He's a great friend of mine. He's a great friend of yours. On a personal note, though, he was the very first chairman of my campaign for state senate. So for those of you who don't like me, I can blame them. As the son of a factory worker, I'm proud that there is no place in the country where industry is more important than right here in Northeast Indiana. Among the 435 congressional districts in the United States, Indiana's 3rd district is number 1 in terms of manufacturing share of total district employment. I like to brag about that. Jackie Walorski sometimes says that her district has more than the National Manufacturers Association proves it. Prior to the coronavirus pandemic, nearly 500,000 manufacturing jobs have been added to the U.S. economy over the last 4 years. And no part of the country was more grateful for the growth in manufacturing than right here in Northeast Indiana. I hate to get partisan and talk about politics, especially a week before Election Day. But I like to remind people that President Obama told us just a few years ago that it would take a magic wand to bring back manufacturing jobs. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, President Trump found it. And I'm proud that over the last 4 years, the policies we passed in Washington, the economic policies and rolling back of regulations contributed substantially to it. Last year, manufacturing was responsible for over 27% of Indiana's gross domestic product and employed more than 17% of our state's workforce. Then the coronavirus pandemic came. The pain that it caused and continues to cause is no secret. And that's why the coronavirus was beginning to peak in late March. I voted for the CARES Act, which provided relief to businesses like yours and to working families. Well, the world has changed quite a bit these last 7 months. One thing that has remained constant is the commitment to excellence and ingenuity among the industries that make up Northeast Indiana. In April, when the virus was peaking, Tenneco stepped up and produced, within a matter of days, headlight wire harnesses to power fans for ventilators. She was here from Tenneco. that they're represented by your organizations. We're proud of the important work that they do. Conexus continue to operate and innovate, and just recently signed the single largest contract ever. Conexus designed and produced innovations meant for schools, including different materials to like mobile hand washing units that are now in demand across many other industries as well. When the nation was facing a shortage of face shields in hospitals, BAE Systems, right here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, got to work and quickly began producing thousands of face shields using 3D printing. Three Rivers Distilling Company, one of my favorites, converted all of their processes and equipment to producing hand sanitizer instead. I could stand here all morning detailing to all of you the degree to which Northeast Indiana's industry sacrificed and in many cases switched production over the last 7 months to help our state and nation weather the storm of the coronavirus. And there's no doubt that each and every one of you in the businesses who are represented have a story of your own to tell. As we continue to weather the storm, I'm here to say that bright days lie ahead. I was with Mayor, where's Mayor Lay from Auburn? Mayor, we were talking about this just last week, about Indiana's unemployment rate, the county unemployment rates. There's good news out there, and I'm glad to share a little bit of good news with you today. Indiana's unemployment rate right now is at 6.4%, a full 2 points lower than the national average. And the state's 63.5% labor force participation rate is nearly 2 full points above the national rate. Mayor Hanshu, I saw you in the back. Certainly this is what we're seeing in Kendallville and Noble County as well. Since the height of the pandemic in April, Indiana's manufacturing sector has already recovered over 50,000 of the nearly 85,000 jobs that were lost. And while much work remains to be done to recover all of those jobs, optimism among Indiana's manufacturing is as strong as ever. So in wrapping up this morning, let me say that these last 7 months, characterized by innovation and adaptation and realizing the well-being of our nation, have demonstrated exactly why Northeast Indiana is one of the most attractive regions in the country to do business. I couldn't be more proud of all of you for the hard work that you do, the contributions that you make to our region to make us stronger than ever. So with that, let me wrap up again by thanking Konyha, the regional chamber, Lou Phelps, and everyone at KPC for hosting this event. I want to thank all of you for being here today. This is the manufacturing capital of the United States of America, and I couldn't be prouder to represent you in Congress. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you very, very much, sir. Next up, we have a really interesting gentleman I think a lot of you do not know and have never heard speak, and that is Bryce Carpenter with Connexus. We're excited for you to learn about what is going on with in Central Indiana, with how manufacturers have gotten together, the state of Indiana, University of Indiana research. When you get your magazine, you'll see a great article about some of the research. But with that, let me introduce Bryce Carpenter with Connexus.
First off, I want to thank everyone for being here today, which is, in celebration of a critical industry for not only the state, but obviously Northeast Indiana as well. I want to thank Lou and her team at KPC for the invitation to be here this morning. I want to thank Bill and your team for sponsoring this event. And good to see good friend John Sampson again. It always makes it a nice place to be. I've got a few minutes here, so I want to talk to you briefly about Connexus Indiana, which is an organization that's sort of singularly focused around advanced manufacturing and logistics. As been mentioned a couple times here already, advanced manufacturing and logistics is really a critical lifeblood of the state and the backbone of the Hoosier economy. Manufacturing is at the heart of what our state has done and will continue to do moving forward. Next one. A couple of things I want to highlight. We hear about this region being number 4 nationally for manufacturing. Obviously, Indiana is number 1 in the nation for manufacturing intensity. When you couple in advanced manufacturing and logistics, it's 33% of the state's GDP. But the other critical part is what I want to highlight with the wages. These are not just jobs in manufacturing, they're careers in manufacturing. I think that gets lost a lot of times when we talk about the importance of advanced manufacturing. Between advanced manufacturing and logistics, those wages are 20 to 30% higher than the state's average. So not only are we providing in manufacturing important jobs, we're providing meaningful careers for neighbors and individuals throughout the state. When we designed the slide, it was done pre-COVID, so I almost feel a little silly talking about critical challenges facing the industry and not having it on there. But so we'll just sort of put that in the bucket. The Congressman talked about that. But even before that, from tech adoption, talent availability, business regulation, there were a number of issues facing manufacturing logistics in Indiana and on a national level. So, what does Connexus Indiana do? I would say our mission and our charge each and every day is really sustain and grow Indiana's leadership in advanced manufacturing and logistics. We are a nonprofit organization, so it's more of a unique structure, but anything that we can do in support of the work you all do in helping this critical industry be successful in Indiana is our charge. We view this as 3 sort of main objectives: digital transformation, economic mobility and opportunity, and public awareness. One of the biggest threats to manufacturing logistics within the state is innovation, tech adoption rate, being competitive on a national level. That's one of our big focuses, and then job creation and helping to grow these meaningful careers. And then the last part is, it doesn't do any good for us to do this if no one knows about it, right? So it's about spreading the message. Most importantly, communicating this message with the younger folks throughout the state that there are meaningful careers to be had in advanced manufacturing, because a lot of what we see, and I'm sure you all see, is a perception issue from the next generation of work. People think that manufacturing roles, and they have this vision of these sort of dark and dusty buildings. You come home with ashes on your face, and that's, it couldn't be any farther from the truth. There are a number of just incredible facilities throughout the state. As you walk through them, they look more like hospitals than anything else. I mean, the famous story is, at Honda Manufacturing, they wear completely white bibs to work each day as a symbol to show how clean the place is, and that's sort of how they reinforce that message to their workers. We do our work, we categorize it into 4 buckets: anticipate, forge, inspire, and amplify. Those are our fancy ways of saying, you can go to the next slide. Tech adoption, digital transformation. Can you see it okay? We'll have to revisit that green, but so we'll just go all eyes. We'll go all eyes up here on this. So anticipate is really how we refer to tech adoption, digital adoption, and the importance of that for our manufacturers. In the magazine that you'll see, that you'll get at the end of the breakfast, there is reference to one of our more relevant items that I wanted to highlight here this morning, which was the tech adoption study. What we were really looking to do with IU and the Kelley School of Business was get a baseline of the tech adoption rate of manufacturing within the state, so that we can sort of measure ourselves and measure our progress going forward. So I would encourage you all to review that and to look at that. Responses were varying. I think that it's safe to say that there are a number of opportunities to accelerate tech adoption through the manufacturing processes throughout the state. Before, I do want to highlight 2 other parts on the anticipate side, and one of them is the manufacturing readiness planning. This is, I'll give the state of Indiana and IED some credit. One of the things that they saw sort of in response to the coronavirus pandemic was obviously, and Congressman mentioned, the need to manufacture PPE. And there was a hurdle because a lot of people were changing their processes and needing to purchase equipment to accelerate this. And what started out as sort of a PPE coronavirus response program called Manufacturing Readiness Grant has grown into what I hope will be sort of an annual economic development effort. And I would encourage you all to review this from your company's perspective, because I do think there are some very valuable opportunities. Indiana and the IEDC has set up a $200,000 matching grant for manufacturers that are looking to purchase new technological equipment and deploy it into manufacturing operations. Just kind of the two simplest rules around that is, it's company money first, and there's up to $200,000 in funds available, and has to create jobs, not eliminate them. So that, that's the sticking point. There are opportunities to automate processes that, create 3 engineers to take 2 people off the line, and that's a net gain and frankly a higher wage role. But those are the 2 parameters. So I would encourage everybody to look at that program. It's sort of a rolling 1-month application cycle. So I think we're in the 5th or 6th batch of applicants with a couple of rounds awarded already. Again, it was a pilot program, so I would encourage everyone. If you read about it, you may see that some of your neighbors have already partnered with it. I would encourage people to stay house to continue it, because there's been over 100 companies that have participated in this program already. So I would encourage everyone in this room to review that and see if that would be a good fit for your operations. And then one more thing on the wage data study. There's so much information that we're able to glean from these wage data studies. We survey our membership and sort of highlight some roles that are very common across the different manufacturing processes, and try to get a sense regionally and at a statewide level of, okay, am I being competitive with my neighbor, not only geographically, but on a peer level? So, an OEM versus a tier 2 supplier is not a great comparison, but we really try to, they're anonymous studies, we keep all of that hidden, it's only shared with the companies that participate, but that's an opportunity to see, everything from benefits being offered, time for a promotion, entry level, wage rates, all of that, to really get a sense of where you are within your region and through the states. On the fourth slide. Orange or the yellow? Okay, it's orange. Okay, that's good. Obviously, being an industry-led organization, the industry is the most critical part of it. So the Forge is really how we capture and operate our industry partners. There's over 100 companies throughout the state that work on a very close level with Connexus. BAE Systems is one, Fort Wayne Metals. So there's and they do so through our 2 industry councils, which is Advanced Manufacturing and Logistics Council. And then we've got this larger group that we call the network community, which is over 255 companies. But again, industry-led, yes, we're a nonprofit. There's some philanthropic reasons to do that from a workforce perspective, but we consider ourselves very much working for and with Hoosier businesses. And the Forge effort is really how we categorize that work. This should be talent. In addition to our industry work, the emerging technology, none of this works without the next generation of Hoosier workers being ready to walk in and work at your companies. We have talent programs that we manage that are really focused on K through 12 pipelines, post-secondary, and then adult worker. And that adult worker component is something that, in response to the coronavirus, we've really focused a lot more resources on, is because what we've seen is a big disconnect between companies that went in, that shut down, that furloughed, and then trying to recapture some of these skilled workers and bring them back. So that's been a big focus of ours, is trying to help companies continue these talent pipelines. There's an amplify. That should be the next one. That's how we tell our story. Like I said earlier, I mean, all of this, it's the importance of advanced manufacturing should not be news to anyone in this room, but it is news to many, many people outside of this room. So it's about carrying forward that message, letting people know about the opportunities for meaningful careers that exist in advanced manufacturing, and making sure that the perception of the brand of manufacturing is reflective of the current status of it, and then the next generation of it moving forward. I think we're going to skip 3 here. There we go. So the mission today is, I talked a little bit about Connexus Indiana and what we do. There are flyers that some of you, I appreciate, are dutifully reading at the moment. Please look over those. Again, there are a million things, opportunities to engage. We're very much a statewide organization. I want to stress that. We like to stress not only geographic, but sector diversity. At one point, many moons ago, Connexus Indiana operated an automotive council and an aerospace and defense council. What we learned was that that was sort of too restrictive and too exclusive for a lot of our critical industries, so we widened that out to an advanced manufacturing council. So please look through that. You know, again, I'd like to stress the manufacturing readiness grant process. Look at the Advanced Manufacturing Council, see if it's a good fit. Again, there are companies in this room that are already partners. Thank you for your continued support. You don't have to be on an industry council to take advantage of some of the philanthropic programming around talent, communications, and emerging technology. So I'm happy to talk. Lou's got me there all the way in the back, so I'll be happy to stay around and talk to anyone who'd like. I've got a stack of business cards, but please review the information. Check out our website, KonexusIndiana.com, and we'd certainly love to explore opportunities to work with each of you in this room. So thank you.
A lot for us to learn and to learn about, learn more. Our next speaker is the co-sponsor of this event, Bill Conde. And Bill is the president and CEO of the Regional Chamber of Northeast Indiana. Bill will talk a little bit about key bills in the legislature and things that are coming up, issues politically that manufacturers need and want and look for from the governor, etc. Bill's been an amazing partner on this experience. We envisioned this over a year ago, and some of you may know that Bill had the honor of serving for Governor Pence when he was the governor of the great state of Indiana. With that, I give you Bill Conde.
It would be just wrong if I didn't start out by commenting on Congressman Baines' presentation. He is actually correct. I did serve as his first campaign chairman. When I served as a member of Governor Pence's cabinet, someone asked me, "You ran Jim Baines' campaign?" And my response was, "Nobody runs Jim Baines' campaign." I signed some documents, but my primary job was to escort the future Senator Amanda Baines at events. And I agree with him, she was by far the better senator. The Regional Chamber promotes an environment in Northeast Indiana in which people, businesses, and communities can thrive in a global economy. We do this by supporting our 3 pillars of progress. Those pillars are 21st century talent, world-class infrastructure, and competitive business environment. We build each year a legislative agenda focused on those 3 pillars and a series of policy priorities we've developed over the years. Our first real effort as a regional chamber, and it's before I joined the Regional Chamber as an employee, was a little piece of legislation that we were one of the primary drivers on, if not the primary driver, and that was right to work. One of the reasons that I think so highly of Congressman Baines is he does the right thing. He gathers information, makes a decision, and does the right thing. He has opposed President Trump on an issue or two, and in doing so, he did the right thing. During the right to work discussion, I was not an employee of the Regional Chamber, but I testified in the House and the Senate 4 times on behalf of right to work. One of the reasons I did so was I believed it to be the right thing for the Indiana economy and for the Indiana manufacturing segment of the economy. One of the reasons my testimony rang true to some people was my father was the international president of the Carpenters Union. I'm just now allowed to go home for Thanksgiving. We build our agenda each year through our membership, and many of our members are manufacturers. As you can see through the information that's been presented today, manufacturing is a primary driver, not only of the Northeast Indiana economy, but of the state of Indiana, and contributes significantly to the economy of the United States. We have 4 subcommittees that are staff, people, managed by 28 members. And those 28 members, those volunteers, are all part of our member organizations. We have a policy committee that consists of 21 additional members. Every one of our members of our organization is encouraged to participate in those committees to help us develop our legislation. Ideas for legislation are submitted to our subcommittees who begin the preliminary process of vetting them. Those that they agree should be further considered are kicked up to the policy committee. We have contracted with Catalyst Public Affairs, who helps us with our research. Eventually, we have a finished product for the policy committee to debate and to consider and to vote upon. When they approve it, it goes to our board of directors, who we have kept filled in all along, by the way, but it goes to our board of directors for additional discussion and consideration and adoption. Last Monday, our board of directors, without dissent, adopted our 2021 legislative agenda, which includes 14 items, 8 new and 6 that are being carried forward, and will be carried forward until we accomplish this. Afterwards, we met with the Regional Chamber Coalition. We have 15 members, local chambers, who participate with us. When we are lucky enough to land a new member, we always encourage our new members to join their local chambers if they're not already a member. Sometimes our new members come to us from our relationship with our chambers. We can do something for them that most of them are unable to do, and that is we can provide sustained advocacy on issues that are important to their members. And we can do it statewide, and we do it statewide. Then we presented it to the Legal Council, local economic development organizations that consist of 11 organizations thus far, every economic development organization in the Northeast Indiana region. We have a spirited discussion. At the end of that discussion, I'm happy to report that they adopted our legislative agenda without dissent. Later that day, we presented it to 16 mayors and county commissioners from 11 counties and discussed and debated our issues with them, following which they endorsed our legislative agenda. So when we walk in next year to the legislature, we have a quiver stocked with arrows that has been backed by business, by economic development organizations, by chambers of commerce, and by our mayors and our county commissioners. This year, I'm not going to talk about any of the new issues because we haven't rolled those out officially yet. They will be rolled out, published in the first week of December when we partner with Greater Fort Wayne in our legislative preview luncheon. What I will talk about briefly is 3 issues that we've carried forward. And there are 3 issues that we have been engaged in for a long time. Issue number 1 is early childhood education, which we find is growing in importance. Recently, we met with, participated in a meeting organized by John Sampson in the regional partnership with the site selector, who talk about their clients' desires to locate in communities where they are now thoughtful enough to provide for early childhood education as an effort to attract 21st century talent. Not to attract it, but to develop it over the long term. We have been a champion of that for some time. We will continue to be a champion of that. We will see what legislation comes up, and we will support it. Item number 2 is an issue that was brought to the forefront by the virus. It's an issue that we have supported for a very long time and been most difficult to get a lot of traction. And that issue we have rebranded regional connectivity or rural broadband. I don't care what you call it. Our kids, many of our children and grandchildren were unable to complete their education last year in a normal fashion because of the virus. Many of those did not have access to broadband in the kind of speeds that would enable them to do their work from home. They had to find hotspots someplace. And a lot of our rural kids, that's not an easy thing to do. Telework was a challenge outside of most of the urban areas. I was very fortunate. I live in Wabash, Indiana. My staff lives in various places, but we all have high-speed internet. Some really bright guy brought high-speed internet to Wabash about in 2007, using a thing that Congressman Baines didn't like so much called a spider tip, but we did. So I can sit in my basement, my man cave, and I can work effectively from my man cave. Many businesses cannot utilize telework as we need to work in this environment and for the future. Telehealth is another big problem, particularly in the rural areas. It is near impossible to deliver telehealth services when you don't have high-speed internet. Our approach this year has been the CARES Act provided the state of Indiana with well over $2 billion. The governor is still sitting on an amount well over $1 billion. We have asked repeatedly to partner with us in 7 REMCs within our region to provide us 25% of the estimated cost, or about $135 million, utilizing the Regional Development Authority, which performs magnificently in the Regional Cities program. And that the REMCs would take that 25%, leverage their balance sheets, and we would wire the entire region within 3 years. We have thus far not gotten a response from that request. It's certainly not the response that we want, nor the response that we expect, and we will not back off from it. We have pestered Congressman Baines' office, and they have been champions with us about working with a future federal infrastructure plan. We've worked with them about extending the CARES Act term that would enable us to use these funds over a 3-year period. We are hopeful that one of those two situations may occur. And if they did, it would enable us to help our region acquire high-speed internet throughout the entire region in a way that would not impact the state budget. Item number 1. We've identified through our members, many of them manufacturers, the number 1 transportation issue in Northeast Indiana. A few years ago we did that, and it turned out to be the widening of County Road 930 or Lafayette Center Road, about 4 miles long from 469-69 to US 24 to your Heartland corridor. And after a great deal of hard work, it was actually led to a great extent by Senator David Long. We secured the $34 million that was needed for that critical piece of infrastructure. Today, we need to transition US Route 30 from a free-flowing highway into a freeway. We have had difficulty getting it included in the long-term plan of the Indiana Department of Transportation. We have fought and continue to fight that battle, And lately, the tack we've taken is quite simply this. We are not asking the governor or any of our legislators to add money to the budget. We need $20 million to undertake an environmental impact study. And that environmental impact study will accomplish two things, the most significant of which it will get the project in the Indiana Department of Transportation's long-term plan. But we don't want the state in this environment with the damage has been done to the economy, to the tax rolls, et cetera. We don't want to add $20 million to the budget. The state has something called the State Highway Transportation Improvement Plan, a 5-year plan. This plan is roughly $38 billion. And it includes construction and maintenance and all kinds of things. That plan includes $4.122 billion for road construction. The Fort Wayne district, which is 14 entire counties and parts of 3 other counties, is getting a whopping $29 million out of that $4.122 billion, which amounts to 0.7%. We met with the governor. We hired the Community Research Institute of Purdue University to critique that plan. We handed that plan with a critique to the governor and advised him that this is a travesty. That this district, the most manufacturing-intensive district perhaps in the United States, has to rely on a road that doesn't work. It is not 21st century transportation. We pointed out that if they would simply go to that $4.122 billion that is designated over the next 5 years for highway construction, road construction, and repurpose $20 million and give it to us to do our environmental impact study, we still wouldn't even have 1.5% of the total budget, but we would be able to complete this really critical piece of information so that we can move this plan along. I encourage everybody in this room to write to the governor and encourage him to support this. I would encourage you to contact your legislators, but our legislators are 100% unified behind this process. You can even whisper to Congressman Baines if you want to be helpful. He's even contacted the governor on our behalf. Next year is a critical year in Indiana for our legislature. It is not only a budget that has to be constructed in a tough time with tax collections down and lots of demands, including us, but there's another issue that's really important, and that issue is reapportionment or redistricting. I have taken it upon myself, our organization has taken it upon ourselves to have one simple ask in the reapportionment, redistricting discussion. Congressman Baines represents 9 1/2 of our 11 counties. We want him in all 11 counties. He understands Northeast Indiana. My county of Wabash is not part of his district. He helps us incredibly. We need to be served by the same U.S. congressman the way we're served by Northeast Indiana Works, the same workforce development organization, the regional chamber, the regional partnership, the mayor and commissioner's caucus, the LIDO, the chamber coalition. We do everything regionally. Let us do this regionally. I encourage you all to contact whoever you have to contact, state representative, state senator, and urge that Jim Baines be redistricted to represent the entire Northeast Indiana region. In closing, let me just say, I think that this is an important event. We are happy to participate. I am truly happy to support KPC Media and the Fort Wayne Business Weekly. It is so great to have a pro-business news media, news publication to work with. And I encourage you all to support them whenever and wherever you can. Lou, thank you very much.
Bill said he never looked at his notes. He can talk to you in the middle of the night, all night long about these topics. He knows them backwards and forwards. I'm so moved by the quality of our speakers. And before we get into our awards, the most exciting part, I do want to invite Ben Herman with Votov Electric. You know, I thank you, Bill, for the plug for subscribing. On each of your tables, you'll see a subscription form. And if you're not getting a subscription now, please order one. If you're only getting one and other people in your organization need a copy, buy 2, 3 copies. And whoever fills out this form today, one of you will have an opportunity to win a $100 brand gift certificate for chocolate. It's a great time of year. Another fabulous Indiana manufacturer. But I'd like to invite Ben to talk to a little bit about Votov. We would not be able to do this event without advertisers like Votov. Ben, why don't you come up and just tell us a little bit about Votov Electric.
Good morning. Bill, I'm going to use my notes. Thanks for this opportunity at KPC Media Group for putting this on. We've never had an opportunity to put an event together like this. You really would be amazed at the amount of parts and pieces that you have to bring it all together. So thank you, and on behalf of Votov Electric to sponsor this morning's event, as well as a fellow native Hoosier to Northeast Indiana, I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you and to salute the industries of Northeast Indiana. And I'd like to thank the businesses that were able to join us this morning, whether in person or virtual. Your decision to conduct business in Northeast Indiana has enriched our communities, has provided opportunities for people and their families, and your existence in Northeast Indiana has contributed to the economic health within our region of the United States and within our great state of Indiana. Establishing roots in Northeast Indiana has afforded hope for people and their families. And for your efforts, for your presence, we thank you. I'd like to also like to point out this morning that the needs for electrical contracting services for some of the businesses even here this morning also provided opportunities for Votov Electric, not only in site development and building construction, but through valued relationships and partnerships with local businesses and continued support of general industries with such services as production equipment hookup, plant relocation and consolidation, preventative maintenance, power factor correction, specialty services, as well as training and education in NFPA 70E. I don't expect anybody to know what any of that is, but just understand what we're doing. Votov Electric possesses the culture, the teamwork, and leadership to provide solutions and support the industry's needs with current day challenges. We enjoy these opportunities, and we really love what we do. We've been serving Northeast Indiana for over 50 years, and we look forward to another 50. As I mentioned, and it didn't mention earlier, but my comments will be brief, but I'd like to close with this on my segment. With a salute and prayers for our leadership, whether in private sector and or serving in the public position. Although being a leader is both rewarding and challenging, gauging by the manner and speed in which news and information is currently shared, our leaders face more scrutiny and criticism, and in some cases danger, than we've ever experienced, at least in my lifetime in years past. So some of which should not be tolerated or accepted. We should all accept a little bit of criticism here and there. Sometimes it just gets a little out of control. So we must care for and support our leaders. We need you, and we salute you for all of your efforts that you do. Thank you.
Okay, now the awards portion. Wish me luck and hope that this works out. It's a new event for us, and we've got some wonderful people to present awards. We had 7 awards that were public and everyone voted on. You voted in our public. Thousands of people participated, nominating companies and then voting. But I do want to take a moment. Our editorial board was very struck by some of the smaller manufacturers in our region who may not be winners today, but we really felt we wanted to take a moment to recognize. You'll see stories about them in the magazine, but anyone who's here from the following 4 companies, we wanted to recognize First Gear, Custom Bottling and Packaging, RP Wakefield, and Allegheny Coatings. If you don't know these companies, they're exciting companies. If each of you would please come up, we have a certificate for you. First Gear, Custom Bottling and Packaging, RP Wakefield, and Allegheny Coatings. Exciting things are going on at all of these companies. Come over here to Joanne, she's got a certificate for you. And we thank you so much because there's exciting things going on. Thank you for having me. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, guys.
Some of these companies have only 10, 12, 15, 25 employees, but they are doing creative and exciting things, expanding. You know, I don't know if some of you maybe from Fort Wayne don't get up 69 much, but I was struck last night driving back. You know, it just, as you drive from Fort Wayne up to the Michigan border, just the things going on 69, new plants, new construction. Things are going on even in the era of COVID, so it's pretty exciting. For our first official award of the event, I'd like to reintroduce Bill Conde, who will present the award for the Northeast Indiana Corporate Citizen of the Year in the manufacturing sector. Bill Conde.
We at the Regional Chamber are really pleased to sponsor this award. We are actually very pleased to sponsor it for a lot of reasons, but we are happy to choose, actually have our members from the Regional Chamber Coalition make the choice. And the way we did it was kind of unique. We had each of our 15 members the opportunity to nominate one manufacturer. And this year, we didn't give them very strict guidelines. We'll work together next year to develop criteria for it. But we allowed them each to nominate one, and then we ran it like a caucus. Each chamber who participated was given 30 seconds to make a speech. And then we voted. But the kicker was you couldn't vote for the one you nominated. And the result was it took a while to get it down from where we started to our 3 finalists and ultimately to our designee. The 3 finalists or semi-finalists were Edge Manufacturing of Wells County, Hollywood of Kosciuszko County, and Zimmer Biomet of Kosciuszko County. Our Northeast Indiana Corporate Citizen of the Year on the manufacturing sector, as chosen by the Regional Chamber Coalition, is Edge Manufacturing of Wells County. Congratulations, smile, really pretty. There you go. Thank you, sir. We also have certificates for Hollywood and Zimmer Biomet if they're present. We'll make sure they find, oh, we have somebody here. Big smile.
Thank you, Bill. Our next award will be presented by Terry Householder, Chairman of the Board of KPC Media, who will present the Northeast Indiana Green Manufacturer of the Year. Terry.
Thank you, Lou. And thank you, Congressman, for being here. Appreciate it. KPC Media is very pleased to recognize 3 manufacturers in our region who were nominated and then voted on by the readers of KPC newspapers and websites in Northeast Indiana for their efforts in embracing environmentally friendly green manufacturing processes. So there are 5 main benefits of green manufacturing: reduce energy-related costs, attract new customers and increase sales, tax incentives, boost workforce morale and innovations, and societal impact. So the semi-finalists are reliable production, machining, and welding in Noble County, hard bark straws in Allen County, and bright bark in Steuben County. And the winner is reliable production, located in Konyha. Reliable is a 4th-generation family-owned company, and in the fall of 2017, Reliable installed 3,500 solar panels, creating a 1.2 megawatt array on Ohio Street, leading to State Road 3. So the field produces 75% of Reliable's energy. The development also stimulated other area businesses to look at green energy. So Tom, congratulations. We would also like Aardvark and Brightmark, please come forward to receive their certificates.
Born news guy, got some extra facts in there. That was very, very good. We can always depend on it. Our next award is going to be presented by Joe McDaniel from Ivy Tech, and Joe will be presenting the Northeast Indiana Manufacturers Diversity Workplace Diversity Award. Joe McDaniel, McMichael, I'm sorry, Joe McMichael from Ivy Tech. I apologize.
Thanks, Lou. Ivy Tech is pleased to sponsor and present this award to recognize 3 manufacturers in our region who were nominated and then voted on for their efforts to promote a diverse workforce at their manufacturing facility in Northeast Indiana. Those semifinalists are Robert Bosch, Ray Magnet Wire, and No Sag Products. And the winner is No Sag Products Corporation, located in Noble County. Would you please come forward and see your plaque? We would also like representatives from Robert Bosch, Ray Magnet Wire. Please come up to receive their certificates of recognition.
Wonderful. Coming down the home stretch here. Our next award will be presented by Mayor Suzanne Hanshu of Kendallville, who will present the Northeast Indiana Best Manufacturing Workplace Award. We had a lot of nominations, a lot of public participation in this, and Mayor Hanshu.
Super excited to see so many Noble County businesses nominated, and woo-hoo to Kendall for the last two. I'm not sure where I'm right here. Okay. Oh, okay, thank you. This morning, our semifinalists are Clinton Walling, Crossroads RV, I apologize, and Sweetwater. And the winner of Northeast Indiana Best Manufacturing Workplace is Clinton Walling. And I might add that Clinton Walling is also Kendallville's oldest manufacturing. They've been in business for over 150 years, and we couldn't be more proud. If there are representatives from Crossroads RV or Sweetwater, would they please come forward with their certificates? Our next award is the Northeast Indiana Internationally Owned Manufacturer of the Year, our top 3 awards. And presenting this award will be Dale Buick with the Whitley County Economic Development Authority. Dale.
Thank you, Lou. It's a pleasure to be here to present this award. Specifically for me, the last job I held with the state of Indiana was the head of economic and business development internationally. I know firsthand how important international investment is in Indiana, especially in Northeast Indiana. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce the semifinalists. We're covering Japan, Germany, and the UK with these semifinalists. CNA Tool Engineering of Whitley County, Robert Bosch LLC of Noble County, and BAE Systems in Allen County. And our winner is CNA Tool Engineering in Churubusco of Whitley County. They're not here today, so I will take this and appreciate the award they received. If there's anyone from BAE Systems or Robert Bosch for a certificate, can they come up, please? Thank you.
Great. We are now coming down to our second to top award, and that is the Northeast Indiana Owned Manufacturer of the Year. And to present the award is Beth Spellman, Town Manager of the town of Huntertown here in Allen County. Beth.
And joining her is a member of the town council and also heads economic development.
Thank you, Lou. Our next award that we're going to be presenting is myself and Huntertown Town Council member and President of the Huntertown Redevelopment Commission, Brandon Seifert. The Northeast Indiana Manufacturer of the Year award recognizes 3 of the leading manufacturers in our region that are Indiana-owned. They're Indiana-owned companies which are growing and thriving in our area. Huntertown is one of the fastest growing communities in the state of Indiana. Our population has increased by over 172% since 2000. And we are eager to work with the business and industry leaders that are here today to bring your business to Huntertown. As our motto says, Huntertown is a great place to call home. So get a hold of me. Okay, so without further ado, the semi-finalists are Camera Dynamics in Noble County, API Alliance in Allen County, and Konyha Export in India, LLC, also headquartered in Allen County. And the winner is API Alliance. Is located in Huntertown, and congratulations to Mike and your team. They have 6 businesses in Huntertown: API Alliance, AITF, ATI, which is Adaptive Technologies, Northern Apex, Adaptive Systems, and Oak Tree. Congratulations, Mike. Okay, and then do we have a representative from Camera Dynamics? It's great company also. And then do we have a representative from Connexus? They would not be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for the plug for Huntertown.
Yeah.
Where we own the Northwest News, which we're very proud to serve the news needs of the crazy growing Huntertown area. And so that brings us to our final award. Our final award is Northeast Indiana Manufacturer of the Year. It will be presented by John Sampson. John, as you know, leads the Northeast Indiana Regional Partnership, and we're very pleased to have John in his support of this event. And John, take it away.
So before we get into this and announcing these 3 fantastic companies that are competing for the Top Manufacturer of the Year award, I want to elevate our conversation a little bit. First off, I know there's a little bit of dynamic going on in the room about whether we're number 1 or number 4 in manufacturing. So I insist on weighing in on that subject by saying there are 3,200 counties in the United States. 7 of 11 of the top 5% counties in the entire United States, 7 of the 11 are in these 11 counties in Northeast Indiana. I'm just saying, I'm voting number 1. And also, I know we've talked about manufacturing in context of creating great jobs, putting people to work, doing things that make a vibrant economy and make our communities more livable and adding wealth and prosperity to individuals and residents. But I'm mindful of, if you know the mantra for Fort Wayne Metals, it makes a large percentage of the global supply of surgical wires. They're saying is we are saving lives. That's what they do every day. And I would just argue whether you're making paper straws, cardboard boxes, medical devices, command and control systems by one of our defense manufacturers. If you made a command control system that's in a in the cockpit of an airplane that takes off around the world every second. One of those have been manufactured or remanufactured in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I would just say, we're not just making stuff. We're making stuff that makes this world work. It saves the economy, it saves the environment. We're competing in a ruthless global marketplace that does not care where we're located or live. They care whether we compete. And our ability to align to the needs of these manufacturers and our employers in a way that they can do their work better, expand, be smarter, invest in technology, invest in capital, do the things that put people to work, but compete in a global marketplace that makes this world work. I just gotta say, it's just not making stuff and going to work every day. It's about making this world a better place to live and work. And I want to thank the manufacturers and employers for this reason to make that happen without regard to political borders. Wherever you're located here, we're going to align your needs and make it work for you in Northeast Indiana. So thank you for everything. So now Lou wants me to get done with this really quick because she's running long, okay? So we're really pleased to be able to announce the competitors for the three leading manufacturers in the Northeast Indiana: Tenneco from Noble County, Micropulse from Whitley County, and Covington Box and Packaging in DeKalb County. So the way the winner is Covington Box and Packaging. They're coming. You're the tall guy in the photo on the website, right? And this item. I know there's a representative from Micropulse in the room. I'm not sure about Tenneco, but if they can make their way up here, they're going to get a photo too. And let's say escape. Where is that Micropulse guy? Please come. Tenneco, not represented here, Dave, I don't think. We'll make sure that they get this via, we'll get it there, right?
We deliver things. We're manufacturers.
Years ago, when I arrived here to be CEO of KPC, my first meeting with John Sampson, which was probably the first month or two I was here, I shared this vision because I was struck that there was nothing like this going on here. So John, I thank you for being a partner and being supportive of the KPC and the Greater Fort Wayne Business Weekly. So that concludes our program. We have a couple of things to wrap up. Congratulations to our winners and our semi-finalists, and a big thank you to all the readers of KPC's newspapers and websites and 13 Facebook pages who voted and took the time to nominate and vote. We had thousands of votes cast, and a lot of people put a lot of work into filling out those long nomination forms. On your table, as I said, is the Greater Fort Wayne Business Weekly subscription. If you need one, Joanne, would you raise your hand? Joanne is the one. Give her your form and get a chance to win the chocolate and take it away for that. It's great, the brand chocolates. You'll receive your magazines as you leave. Everyone, any winners or just anyone who's here that wants to come take pictures, if you've ever been to our 40 Under 40, our 40 Under 40 event lasts about an hour, and then for 2 hours, everyone's taking pictures under the 40 Under 40. So we have a great backdrop, have fun, visit with each other, network. Our photographer, Steve Garbatz, who's managing editor, one of our two managing editors, has taken still photography, and we will be sure to get you pictures. This event was videotaped and will be posted in a day or so on all KPC websites, Facebook pages, etc. Thank you. Have a safe trip home, and we'd love your feedback on how we can continue to improve this event. But thank you for everyone. It was really great. Our speakers were terrific. Thank you, guys.